Welcome to Bad Publicity. I'm Jameson.
I'm Finn. What? That's a good one.
That is not your name.
And I'm Corpse. Today we're going to talk about Helpful AI, resource for the shapers. Thoughts?
At first I hated this card. Really, I was like... I thought I was more pissed off at the fact that it was a unique card. And I was like, it's not good enough to be a unique, but I can sort of see where it is now. I think it's a great card to fill whatever you're not using in your shaper deck, personally. I think this would... I'm a man of threes. I find that all my perfect kind of scenario of cards is if it isn't a special card, I run 3 of them because I want to run into them. If it is a special card, I run 2 of them. But this would be the only exception to that. I would run a single copy of this in my deck.
A solitary copy.
Don't correct me. I'm Finn.
It's not correcting.
No, it is.
No, I will be your diction. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is one of those cards where you can... just the fact of the matter that he said he put 1 of them in his deck leads me to believe, based on what I know, that for me I could probably run Sans the card. I would not necessarily need
without
this
the card.
to up Sans, yeah, without. Like con carne is without beans and chili. That's how real chili is made, by the way. You heard it from me. Yeah, I can't.
It's good radio.
Yeah, I can't put this. It is. I can't put this in. I can't do it. Trashing it and getting +2 strength on an icebreaker is not something that I would pay $2 for to begin with.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I totally agree. I think the trash value or the trash feature of this card was there, and they threw in the +1 link just to put some icing on it and make it.
No, I don't think that's what it is at all. I think you're going to be using it. I think that's the misconception. I think that because there's the bulk of this, the card is in that trash. I think the reason that this is just an extra link for the shapers, because there's a lot of things that are coming up that are relying on the link. Right?
I think Link is going to be very important in the future.
Link is very important now. Basically, at the last tournament that we were running, I was just literally paying to break through all traces. I was like, okay, I'm criminals. I have more money than you. I don't want to play my icebreakers. How much does that cost? And it would just be, it just turns into a money problem, right? But this card, to me, it's like if I see it in my hand and I've got that single copy in there, I'm keeping it on the table. I'm giving myself that 1 link, which is essentially saving me $1 every time I want to run through it. And there is that scenario where it can turn into...
If you're coming up against something that's trying to trace you. Right?
I didn't say it was an amazing card.
No, I know, but I mean, like,
I'm taking it a little farther than you guys are.
You're depending on.
Thanks for playing the other side of the coin, but
the wrong side. Thanks for playing that for us. Thanks for taking one.
I think the Anarchs and the Criminals need this card more than its native faction does, but I think a splash cost of 2 is too high for it, and it's just not. It's just not worth it.
I think that we haven't seen the full effect of traces, and I think that this one thing, to have it in your deck to get that extra trace off, and then have the potential. I mean, to me, I'm looking at the other cards that give you +1 to your link. Like, those cards don't do anything, and if you have them in your deck and you're not going through traces, they become dead draws or dead cards, right? I mean, you could always trash them to Aesop's Pawn Shop, but this is another card that you could trash to Aesop's Pawn Shop, potentially gaining all of your investment back. Or if you really need that $2, or that 2 strength, it's gonna give you that 2 strength.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's amazing. That's why I'm saying I think this card is that oh well, I've got everything I want in my shaper deck now, but I still got like 1 or 2 cards to fill. Yeah. I don't think there's any downside to having this in your deck.
No, you're right. There's no downside to having it really. It's there, and it is giving you 1 link, but I think that's the only benefit of the card. The trash piece of it is trash.
Yeah, you have to get rid of it. But the thing is that it's not. It certainly is not a bad card by any stretch of the word. But what else could be going in there that could be filling the slot, right? There's probably going to be something else that you would be able to work your deck a little easier with. You'd be able to game more scenarios with, that sort of thing. Like this, that's the way I see it right now. Part of the problem is probably because I haven't seen anybody use it to its full potential yet. This thing hasn't been any kind of a game breaker or even really a game helper versus like in any of the matches that I've had. It might be different for Sly over here, but that's where I'm sitting right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be, well, I mean, you're a Shaper player, so it's going to come down to your opinion overall. I'm just sort of metagaming this card, but I mean, I don't see this being a card that I would mind playing.
No, I would carry 1, 2 max.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Right? Because the link is the helpful part. Like the one, like if you have 2 of those and you can get them both out, the cost, I think 2 is cheap enough to get it out there for that link, but I could take it or leave it. Right? I think
that's the point.
I'm definitely not putting it in another deck.
Based on what cards exist now, it's hard to justify or really take like full advantage of this. That could be changing very, very soon when NBN gets a lot more gear out. Stuff like that might really help out. But for now, it's
that new ice that's coming out is brutal.
Yeah. There's a bunch of good stuff that's going to be coming down the pipe pretty soon. That may turn this card into something that we might see a lot more in the metagame in our local gaming stores and that sort of thing. But for now, I don't know. You want to rate it?
Yeah, I actually do.
Very good.
I
give it a 2.
I teetered on it, yeah.
The splash cost is too high, right?
It is. I believe it.
No, that's fair. Take the splash cost to
solely into account.
No, based on the 2 splash cost, I'm going to give it a 2.
I'm going to give it whatever the splash cost is.
I rolled the dice before recording, and it came up 2. No, I think it's a 3. I think it's a soft 3.
That's good.
That's good. Soft 3 out of 7. So, yeah.
It's been a good talk so far.
I'm trying to think, because I don't run Shapers, and I don't like rig building necessarily. I'm more of an operations kind of guy, but this card to me is like an operations, because it's just a throwaway card that you're going to want to put in and use. I'm going to go with a 4 on this one.
4. Alright. Well, I am going to agree with Jameson and give it a 3. I can't...
soft as well?
Soft, I don't know. It's a hard 3.
He's gonna give
it's a hard 3. Just because, again, it really could be useful. And you could build your deck, or your metagame could be heavy NBN. You could come up against a lot of traces, and something like this is going to help. And yeah, it is better than cards that simply just increase your link. This also has the
I want cards that are going to give me multiple.
Yeah, of maybe potentially stopping the run, right? If you're at the... continuing a run if you need to break through that ice. But yeah, that's basically it. Nothing fishy.
No. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe.
They're not going to do it anymore.
There goes the subscribes.